because of my sheer unwillingness to actually buy effect triggers for Brandt Gate, because I don't believe that they're worth that price tag just to lose to Zorga masks. I'm here to cover a deck that's non-office, but a deck that tickles a different part of my body. Putschwestern. Doesn't look like it. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. Today I'm back to cover a different deck experiment this time. Once in a while, you know I like to cover weird deck experiments that I'm able to afford because they're either really cheap or just something that I'm really inspired to build. Today we have Putschwesterns, which basically is the three cleaning ladies. You know, the three sisters. So basically, if you like Dragon Maids from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or you just like maids, or you like the idea of a woman cleaning after your house and doing your chores and making you extremely pampered, then I think you will like this deck profile because this is basically what this deck is about. Gameplay-wise, it's really nothing. It's just a bunch of grade ones that you call on the board and you hope to find one specific set order, and then that's the end of that. And if you don't find it, you just die. As you can tell, there is no dedicated right line support or anything, so we are playing a group of kaijus to actually fill in the spot. As you can see here, it's basically a Majesty Lord Blaster deck profile, so if you want to know why there is no Majesty Lord Blaster deck profile, this is your answer. So for our right deck, we play a copy of Eva, another Eva, and then we play this big guy. And that's basically about it. I think it's very straightforward what they do, but because, you know, it's been a while since I've done, you know, an EVA deck profile, I'm going to explain it. Now, this is all for confusion's sake, that's why we are playing the grade 0 to 2 EVA. But basically, when you write the grade 1 on the grade 2, or the 1 on the 0, or the 2 or the 1, you basically get to search for research orders, which is the thing that causes you to, you know, break the meta. In this case, we're using it to search the Kaiju one, which is, you know, Tectonic Research. You will recognize this from our Architect deck profile, so yeah, you might want to check it out. It's in the channel if you're interested. So the whole point of it is basically just to search this order. It basically becomes a +2. But we use this as a discard fodder, or if you really don't have the correct cleaning order by then you actually use this order to try and open the top 5 and add a kaiju to your hand and then a kaiju to your job. It's just that thing. You can tell it's very means to an end because we really just don't have much things you can actually play in here. You can try this with the kaiju bat deck profile, but very frankly, I just don't think it's a very effective strategy. And our grade 3 is basically a giant 15k body who can attack as long as you have a set order. And that's it. And he's a kaiju. So the long and short of it is that this is basically Majesty Lord Blaster, and yeah, that's about it. So our grade 3s are really simple. We are just playing 4 copies of him with 1 copy in the right deck and then 3 copies of him in the main deck. This card is really bad. I'm gonna be honest. He's nothing good at all. He's just a 15k body, but Persona Right is nice, and having some kaijus in the deck is nice. It's really for a grade 1 order. And for our grade 2s, really the only thing we actually play is both grade 2 Eva as well as our kaiju friend Tecton. Tecton is the other kaiju in this deck that basically is here to help us out. Tecton, as you probably know from my office deck profile, what he does is when he's discarded, he looks at the top 5 cards of the deck and he adds a field spell from it to your hand. So it's basically a nice way to, you know, thin your deck again as you discard for right deck in the hopes that you can actually search out. And Tecton is completely searchable by the kaiju order, which is why we've opted for Tecton instead of other options like Aben Robust or even the new double rare from set 10. It's because they're just not searchable and they don't. And Tecton's completely free. He doesn't cost a counterblast, and you will see later that the rest of this deck uses a lot of counterblasts. So as I mentioned, this is Volcanic Energy Research. I am going to talk about it first because, like I said, you know, you're going to see all the Putschwesterns and then you're going to realize the cleaning ladies actually take up a lot of space in this deck. So the basic point of this is that, you know, you basically just want to thin your deck, or if not, just discard it for your right deck. It's really simple. It's just to search. There's no other right deck you can really play with this deck, because if you don't play this, you can try with the Office right line or even the Gravidia right line or something, but you notice that the efficiency and effectiveness really goes down because it competes your resources. This straight up doesn't. And of course, our others is deploy the 3 cleaning ladies. This is the real reason why you are playing this deck. So what this actually does is very simple, and you know, it's very effective actually. It just gives your front row 2k and that's it. So your cards all look for this thing, it all tries, and it needs as many number of this as possible. So in a reality where we didn't actually need that much counterblast, or we had better maids in general, we could just play stuff like Aberrant Robust and just stack all of these orders and just win. Because we actually have a payoff card in the form of the red color one, which is Whipple. And of course, disclaimer before we move on is for grade 1s, and we obviously play the Evil Grade 1 the right deck as well as our PGs. Yeah, it's quite simple why we are playing this, because we want to stay alive. We're not playing the Kaiju PGs because we don't have a hand, period, and Evil Grade 1s for the right deck. And then of course, now that I've gotten that out of the way, we can finally talk about the cleaning ladies themselves. So we play 4 copies of Moppy, we play 4 copies of Whipple, and then we play 4 copies of Blush, or Blanche, it depends on how you pronounce it. So all of them have very similar but different effects. Whipple is the only weird one out of the group, so I will talk about her last. So Blanche as well as Moppy have very similar skills. When placed Counterblast 1, you can search for either the field spell, which is the 3 cleaning ladies, or you can search for a different named main. So Moppy actually searches for Blush. Blush can actually search for Whipple. So it goes that way. This can search for this, or this can search for this, or this it doesn't search for anything. Very simple. It all costs 1 counterblast each. And of course, we obviously play Whipple. Whipple is the main payoff card for this deck. So if you don't like this deck, then I'm sorry, because this is your main payoff card. Whipple gains effects equal to the number of 3 cleaning ladies that are actually on your order zone. 1 or more, she gains 5,000 power continuously, which is nice. 2 or more, and she cannot be chosen by your opponent's target card effects. So this is actually a counter to Gandiva. I hope you are very happy. I am not happy. And its third skill is that during your turn, your entire back row gains 5,000 power. It plays off because this boosts your whole front row, and she at a full strength can boost the entire back row. So that is something you actually take in mind, that if you just build a whole board of 5, you just get a free tons amount of power, and then with your Majesty Lord Blaster Vanguard, you just completely beat them in, and then you just win. So yeah, that's basically the point of this deck. It's really straightforward. And for our grade 0s, our triggers, we play obviously our Eva starter, we play for heals, we play 1 copy of this guy because Brandt Gate has a second win condition for all decks, and then we obviously play 8 criticals. 3 draws, it doesn't matter if it's effect or not. I mean, if you can afford effect, draws be my guess, but if not, generally speaking, it's fine. You just need draws because it's a very piece reliant deck. And yes, that actually wraps up or wipes up our Putschwestern deck profile. It's a very simple deck experiment. I sincerely don't have to explain anything here because it is as straightforward as you believe it to be. If you are interested in playing this deck, I say if you have a bit of extra money, you should completely build it because I've had tons of fun. And this is a brand new aesthetic to Vanguard. We've never had a maid style deck. So if you like this sort of thing, I say definitely pick it up. If you're looking for something competitive though, then this is the end of this deck profile. Please watch the rest of our DBT10 videos if you'd like to play something remotely competitive. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.